So a story yesterday came out during the summer in August. I was told by somebody connected to the front office of the Eagles that Jalen Hurts was wearing coaches out, was not the easiest to coach, could be a little rigid, was a little reluctant or reticent to make changes, which you get sometimes with older quarterbacks. Brett Favre famously is like, I'm not learning a new offense, I'll retire. Mm-hmm. And then the story yesterday comes out with 12 sources from Jeremy Fowler that, listen, this is tough. This is not what it appears on television. And it's got a little Russell Wilson vibe. A little smaller than average, transferred in college, go to a team that's ready to win, get a lot of credit for the winning, a little bit of a politician at the podium. What did you make of the story? Is it too much too soon, or do you think there's a little bit there?
If you would look, I live in Philly here, Colin. I know what this is like. And look, I mean, the writers that came in, like they're good writers. They know what they're doing. I think that honestly, like if you're 57-25 as a starter, and you've been to the playoffs every year as a starter, like you can't finagle that. That's not luck. That's not good fortune. Like he doesn't turn the ball over in the postseason. He's thrown 11 touchdowns, 3 interceptions in the postseason. When we measure these guys at the highest level of measuring a guy, he has played well when he has given those opportunities, and he's gotten them there. He's been a good leader. He never misspeaks at the podium. Never. And all Philadelphia's looking for is for him to misspeak. Donovan did that a bunch in Philly, and all they had to do is go back and redo the press conference all over again. He never misspeaks. It's amazing, actually. But he's the son of a coach, and he might not be easy to coach, but he's the thing that can kill a team quicker than anything, and that's why we doubted Sam Darnold all the way to the end last year, was turnovers. But he's not going to get you beat. But does he hold the ball too long? Yep, he does. Does he not want to do certain things that maybe the offense asked for? Probably. But at the same time, he's not going to get you beat. And then he's going to find ways to beat you. So the question is, he's going to have to evolve, though, because he's not the same runner that he was at Alabama,
good point,
Oklahoma, in the beginning of his
he's
career.
Not.
So
yeah.
Russell wasn't, and Steve Young wasn't. And so all these guys that help make a living by being good runners and scramblers, I think he's going to have to adjust and be a better from the pocket than he's been. And all quarterbacks have to evolve in that regard.
So a player, and you watch more tape than anybody.
Okay. I love how Colin was silent when he was talking. Except for when he's like, he's not as good of a runner, and he goes, no, he's not. It's like, okay. Brian Baldy bringing the heat. I appreciate what he's saying there. Right. You can't have this success accidentally that he has had. And despite what people want to invent of them having this stacked roster year after year after year, it's just simply not true. And they've had great rosters and they've been awesome, and the Eagles are, great at doing what they do. But this idea that he's just been flushed with talent surrounding him on both sides of the ball and amazing coaches and that, it's just not true. Just not. There was no Saquon Barkley in 2021 and 2022 and 2023. The defense was not this unstoppable force, especially in 2023, right? So we can stop with that. All right? All anyone can ever really focus on is A.J. Brown and Devontae. And let's stop pretending like these other teams don't also have other wide receivers to work with. Again, Dak Prescott had C.D. Lamb and George Pickens. They didn't do it. They didn't do, and you could say, yeah, but their defense and this or that. There were other games that Dak and that offense could have won and they didn't. They simply did not. Jalen Hurts does find that way. Just a fact. And it's funny because what he's talking about here now too is about in the play-o. FFS doesn't turn the ball over, etc. And Colin went on a whole rant about Sam Darnold and about he says, you say all the things that he doesn't do. He had a very poetic way of phrasing it. He goes, you tell me all the things that Sam Darnold doesn't do. You're right. He doesn't turn the ball over. And that was like after he had already won the Super Bowl. And then he said like he's the first quarterback to like win a Super Bowl without turning the ball over, whatever it is. And it was just like, so it's okay for Sam Darnold not to turn the ball over. But when Jalen Hurts doesn't turn the ball over, it's like, well, it's because he's not throwing the ball enough. He's too conservative. He doesn't pass the ball. It's just like really, it's like, wait, what? But like Paul said, Jalen Hurts has to evolve as a passer. And then rightfully said, like all quarterbacks, literally Josh Allen's head coach Brady and offensive coordinator for I guess what it's been a few years now, 3 years or so, 2.5 years, whatever it is. Said Josh Allen's going to have to evolve as a pocket passer. He literally said that. Said that to the media. Said that in front of a camera saying Josh Allen's gonna have to evolve as a bucket passer. Yep. Josh Allen will just like Jalen Hurts will. Just like Lamar Jackson will. And like this is what I always credit Eagles fans and Jalen Hurts fans. They're not sensitive to that. They don't reject that or deny hat. It's always the back and forth that I find elves with Lamar Jackson fans where I'm like, Lamar has to evolve. And they're like, yeah, already has to evolve. He's perfect. He's this. I'm like, okay, so he's the only quarterback in the history of the NFL that doesn't have to evolve or grow or be better. He's the only quarterback that doesn't have to be held accountable. Got it. We're glad we got that figured out. And it's like, yeah, their Jalen Hurts does need to be, evolved. He does need to be more disciplined. He does need to be held accountable just like Mahomes, just like Josh Allen, just like Joe Burrow, just like Tom Brady, Brett Favre, Peyton Manning, all of them. All of them. All of them. All of them. And again, the idea that Jalen Hurts is somehow difficult to coach when he's been coached by so many different coaches, again, just continues to be such an absurd take. It really is. It's such an absurd take. And talking about leadership is really interesting. Like you realize Hollywood Brown at this point in his career will be wanted considering who he's played with. He's been in multiple offenses. Andy Mahomey like he's been around. Teams want that. They want that experience. He's always been a good soldier on the field like no problems. Like they want he could have went back to Baltimore maybe Buffalo like he had options. He legitimately I'm not acting like everybody was fighting for Hollywood Brown here but Ike he had options and this is what he said. I've been watching Jalen play for a while. Even previous teammates, everyone talked highly about him and for me watching the film on him seeing how he's able to make stuff happen, how composed he is his deep ball and just how he's able to lead was all attractive to me. And for me, I mean, he's a Super Bowl MVP, so feel like he stack up, as a top quarterback in this league. And I'm fortunate enough to be here with him and the rest of the team and, excited to come in and help. Interesting. There's another interview too where he goes on and says, playing against him in the Super Bowl, going across the sideline and seeing just how composed he was during all of that, being a leader. And they were saying they were saying, well, maybe he's too stoic, right? And now he is too stoic. It's like in how he's saying, talking to other people that have played with him, how everyone always has something nice to say about him. It's like weird, right? Weird. I mean, this is a receiver who's played with Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes, okay? And like I said, teams want that. Teams, if you're an up-and-coming team or you have an up-and-coming quarterback and whatnot, you just need some experience, like you have a receiver who's like, he's literally run routes and was catching balls with Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. That alone is worth its weight in gold. I hope you understand that. That alone is worth its weight in gold. And so the things that he's saying, yeah, you should listen to and it's not lip service, honestly. It's really not. I think I'm great at catching the lip service, the generic takes, a little bit of nonsense. When people are tiptoeing around the truth or the act, you know, the reality of a question or something or the moment. And that's not what I got from a Hollywood Brown in that situation. So, it's just funny to me, honestly. Especially because we keep trying to force this Russell Wilson comp, and I made a video ripping that, and of course a lot of surprise Kansas City Chiefs fans were all in the comments section and they were like, oh, it's a perfect comp. It's a perfect comp. And I was like, oh, is it a perfect comp? Is it a perfect comp? Okay, sure. Sorry he dominated you in the Super Bowl, and sorry he's outplayed Patrick Mahomes both times. I'm so sorry. But you know what's really interesting? Players did not stand up for Russell Wilson, and a lot of players kind of came out and were vocal about their issues with Russ. We are yet to ever see that about Jalen Hurts. In fact, it's been the opposite so far. It's been the opposite. Do I believe that when it's all said and done, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, people will be like, oh, you know, Island's a little different, this, that, and the third. Sure, absolutely. Because I'm sure Jalen is genuinely different. I'm sure Jalen is not a great hang. I've talked about this before. Not everyone's a great hang. I love what Jalen brings to the table, but like I get it. My personality from Jalen is wildly different, right? I am the person who's going to be talking a million miles a second, cracking jokes, dancing in the locker room, doing whatever, right? That is clearly not Jalen Hurts. That is clearly not Jalen Hurts. And that's fine. Not everyone's going to be that way. But the people that don't get that or have a problem with that or take issue with that or even insulted by that, they're the ones that are immature. The problems that Russ brought to the table, no, Russ lacked the maturity. Russ is the one that was like, I'm a superstar. Stay away from me. Essentially, like that was the issues that his team had with him. And Russ was getting all the praise. Everyone kept saying Russ is a Hall of Fame quarterback until he fell off a cliff. Right. Right up until he got to Denver. His stock was through the roof. That's why he got paid hundreds of millions of dollars. All the guarantees, right? All of that type of stuff. People were over the moon with Russ. So this comp about Jalen with Russ, Jalen is not getting that level of credit. Jalen is not getting that level of praise. The team, the Cooper Deans and the Mitchells and the Lon E. Johnsons and the sequence of the team, you know, that version compared to whoever it was for Seattle at the time. No, they're not competing each other. They're not debating each other if there's enough praise to go around. There's no concerns about that. Okay. No concerns about that. No one is confidently talking about Jalen Hurts, bona fide first ballot Hall of Famer. Yet again, right up until Denver, that's what everyone would have said. Colin loved Sean Payton and Russ together and how that's going to work and how great Russ is and blah blah blah. You know, he's not saying that about Jalen. So, let's stop pretending like this is a similar situation here, because it's not. Not from who's getting the credit, not from who's getting all the fortune and fame. Eagles players are getting paid. Eagles players are getting paid. A.J. Brown getting paid. C getting paid. Devontae getting paid. Landon Dickerson, Jurgens, Milan, like they're all getting paid. I don't want to hear it. Zachary Bond getting paid. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Head coordinators getting head coaching jobs getting paid. There's no one debating. No one's out there saying Jalen Hurts is the Super Bowl MVP and the Hall of Famer. He's deserving of all the credit. He's carrying this team. No one's out there making those arguments at all. Really, the only kind of argument that you ever get positive about. Jalen Hurts is like, come on, guys. We got to give him some credit, right? Laughter, you know, we got to give him some credit. He can't be just completely, useless to this Eagles team, right? I mean, right? I mean, even Baldy's take is essentially kind of like come on, right? Like he's won a lot, right? You know, he's been to 2 Super Bowls. Like you guys are talking like he's not contributing at all, right? He has to contribute to some degree, right? Like we got to give him some credit. And look at the shirt that he's wearing. Coaching matters. But what does he know about football? He doesn't know anything about football. Coaching matters. Do you guys think coaching matters? Coaching matters. Coaching matters. Coaching matters. Coaching matters. I want that shirt. Coaching matters. Jalen Hurts has had a lot of coaches. He's had a lot of coaches, but it's all his fault. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles? Do you think he's holding back the Eagles? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get to some discussions. Let's get to some fights, but ultimately let's just have some fun. Please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here and absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. It really does help the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.